What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in the building, and you know what we're doing. We're talking some Mavs basketball, the good, the bad, the ugly. And Mavs eked out another victory last night against the Toronto Raptors. We liked hearing that. We like seeing that 111 to 110. Barely escaped it. They hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to take it down to 1-point victory. But Mavs are on a 3-game win streak. We like seeing that. That's always a good thing. Mavs on a win streak. They beat Orlando. They beat Utah. Beat Toronto. Should have beat OKC. Should really be like on a 5-game win streak, and then they beat Brooklyn prior to that. And yes, I said the Brooklyn Nets and not the New Jersey Nets, because I was saying that all day on the one show, the Brooklyn Nets. So anyway, Mavs get another big victory at home. Luka did his thing once again. He's set a record now, starting the season with 8 straight games of 30 points or more. In rare air, the only leader above him is Wilt Chamberlain. I think he started out with 23 straight games of 30 straight points to open the NBA season. So Luka is just continuing to do what Luka does. Currently averaging 36 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. I mean, we know this is a Luka-dominated team. If you didn't have a Luka, you probably you bottom of the barrel. Let's keep it real. This man really holds everything up. So that victory against last night, I checked it out. Here's some good. If we're going to talk about the good right now in this game, obviously the Mavericks won. That's always a good. Another good right here. The thing I liked about this game was, when you play the Raptors, they're a good defensive team, and they like to push the ball. Fred VanVleet was not in. I think he had a sore back. And then Pascal Siakam, he actually left the game with a groin injury, which was good. Not that he got hurt, but it was good because, he's a threat. I think he dropped like 18 points that game, 7 boards. And they have all these point forwards. Scotty Barnes. Let's get these names up because it was a whole let's get this game up right quick. So yeah, my dog, hey, shout out to my dog over there. I told you I used to hoop with my boy Gary Trent. He used to play with the Dallas Mavericks, had a nice little 2-year run. Gary Trent Jr. was on the Raptors. That's my dog too. Hey, 3-12. Kind of glad that you had a bad 3-point shooting game. OG Anunoby, he turned up. He had 27 points. He was the leading scorer in this game. Like I said, Pascal Siakam, he had 18 and 7. Scotty Barnes was doing his daggone thing. He didn't shoot well from the field, and that's what really had the Mavericks get the lead that they were. They're big guys. Gary Trent Jr., 3 of 12. Scotty Barnes, 4 of 12, but he had a triple-double. He had 11 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, and him playing that point forward. One thing I think, and we'll talk about this in the bad, but the good is, as I said before, you're dealing with a lot of point forwards and Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. Those are all about 6'7", 6'8" guys that can handle the rock, take it to the hole. And at the end of the game, Scotty Barnes was pretty much running the point. And he was causing problems. He can get to the hole, good size. Dallas has problems with, to me, athletic teams. But as I said before, good that the Mavericks had built a lead. Bad that they lost the lead. But one thing I like what the Mavericks are doing, Luka, is I like when they push the envelope of taking the ball inside. When him and Dinwiddie are really attacking the ball, it really opens up the offense for everybody else. When Luka is turning and backing in and posting up, it's going to force a double team. They're going to double, triple. They're going to double him. And most times when he gets that one-on-one and it's just somebody he can post up, he's going to score. Dallas shot 50% from the field. That was a good thing. That's always a good. And they shot 84% from the free throw line. That's another good because right now I think they're only shooting like 73% as a whole, as a unit, which is not good. Too many games they have not had good free throw percentage shooting. And this game was much needed, 84%, 35% from three-point range, and they shot 50% from the field, which is a hella good when you're shooting 50% from the field from the entire game. Most likely you win a lot of those games when you're shooting good from the field. And I think that's a lot created by Luka penetrating to the hole, kicking it out, or just shooting those mid-range shots. Dinwiddie as well. Creating the ball, creating opportunities for the Reggie Bullocks, the Dorian Finney-Smiths, the Maxi Cleavers, creating shots for them. And Luka, another good was in the second half, you saw the Raptors really wanted to get the ball out of his hands and really were going to put pressure on Luka. So they started doubling him as soon as he was getting across the half-court line. So the good about that is Luka was continually finding the right man in the right spot at the right time. And that's definitely good. That's your point guard, and and he continues to find the right person when needed, hitting the big shot when needed. So that's also a good. Another good was Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell came in again, started. We talked about JaVale McGee. I have been mentioning this time and time again. Well, I know JaVale McGee, the main reason why he came to Dallas was because he was guaranteed a starting role. Once again, I think that's crazy because JaVale McGee ain't never been really nothing crazy in the NBA. But to his credit, he played 4 minutes. He had 2 points. I mean, he was 2 for 2 from the field, 1 for 1 from the free throw line, had 5 points. So he's not causing a stink about it, and that's a good thing. But honestly, Dwight Powell gives more energy. Dwight Powell is not the defensive threat that JaVale McGee can be because of the length, but Dwight Powell plays hard. He hedges on screens. He's there for the double. He gives you high energy, good pick and roll guy, alley-oop guy, good team player, energy. And I have been saying that if JaVale McGee is not really going to give you those minutes, and too many times I've seen when the ball gets shot and JaVale McGee, after the shot, he jogs down the field, jogs down the court. By that time, his man is already down court or they're already in the offense. He's coming late and they're already going to score a point. That can't happen if you're the big guy in the middle. So I've been screaming, hey, put Dwight Powell in if that's going to be happening. Jason Kidd made the change. I like it better right now. It's working. Hopefully we don't hear, rumblings because he's not starting. But Dwight Powell, 26 minutes, 9 points. Only 2 rebounds. You got to get more than that. I still want, but he's not a big rebound guy anyway. That's just not what he is. But I love his minutes that he's given them, especially starting, and they were sizable minutes that they needed for the Mavericks. Also, another good is Josh Green. And let's go to some numbers right quick. It's showing me. Let's go to some numbers right quick. So I put this on my Twitter, and this is a huge good to me. This is a guy I've been screaming about, okay? This is a guy, when we first started, when I really started jumping on this with DDP, shout out to you, DDP, with the Dallas Prospects, one of the players that was really had my eye was Josh Green and Jaden Hardy. I felt like Hardy was a great pick. I know he wasn't going to get a lot of time because he's inexperienced, but I like Josh Green. Obviously, we saw last year he was a little bit nervous, wasn't really ready for the time, but he really put in a lot of work during this offseason. You can see the work he's put in. He's getting more confidence by the day, and here's just something I said about Josh Green. I like his growth. He's getting more confident. I think he had a career high in minutes last night. You see he was perfect from the field, 3 for 3 from the field, 1 for 1 from three-point range, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 20 minutes, had a nice little dunk, big 3 from the corner, and then right here. Green was perfect from the field Friday while scoring 6+ points from the fourth straight game. Coupled with excellent defense, Green has carved out a sizable role in the Dallas rotation, and he's a long-term name to monitor. Totally agree. He's what I feel like the Mavericks need for defense, because Jason Kidd tries to stress that role. And when you see him come in the game, I really like the energy that he brings defensively, on-ball defense, help side defense, switching. He tries to block shots. Tries to get rebounds. He's just very active. And he has good size, 6'7", about 200 pounds. I really love because he could be your defensive stopper on the team. He could be your main defensive stopper on the team. And his offenses continually come along. Career high 20 minutes. I just really love where it's going, and you're really going to need him. So I love how he's getting minutes, and I want to see him continue to get a role. Now, they had a lineup, and I had been screaming this as well. This is another good. When they had JaVale McGee, they had Christian Wood, they had Josh Green, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Tim Hardaway Jr. I like that lineup. That's where the Mavericks got a nice little lead. They were had like a 15-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, and I think a lot of that was that lineup. I like that lineup. Hopefully we can see more of that lineup because you got a variety of stuff. You got your point guard who can score. You got a two guard who Tim Hardaway Jr., he's only shooting 30% from the field, but he's streaky. Anytime he can go off. So you got that as your two guard. Your small forward is Josh Green, who gives you defense and offense. Obviously, we know what Christian Wood brings outside, inside game. And then JaVale McGee. You actually have size out there. You got a 7-footer. You got a 6'10" guy. You got guys out there that can really affect shots. So I like seeing that lineup, and I like to continue to see that lineup. So that was another good for me. But shout out to Josh Green. He's providing huge minutes for the Mavericks right now. So let's go to some numbers right quick. Some things that I've been looking at. Obviously, if we look at the numbers for the Mavericks, that is huge. Shooting 48% from the field. I like that. That's a good thing. But let's go back to the game. I don't want to leave this game right quick because I want to talk about some more good. Or, Christian Wood played some good defense, 13 points, 5 rebounds. I liked his minutes. His energy on the defensive side. Continue to show that length and block some shots, because if he can continue to show some defensive side, he's going to continue to get those closing minutes, because we're not seeing him. He sat out pretty much the last 7 minutes of the game, but we got to get that defense from him on a consistent basis. And I like Dinwiddie's role. 8 of 17. You can see he shot more than anybody in this game. He shot 17 times, 21 points, 7 assists. I like his role. I told you, I'd rather him come off the bench, but right now you know what that is. But I like how Dinwiddie is playing. So I'm really happy with Dinwiddie, Christian Wood, Josh Green are really doing, so that's some good for me. Now, let's go to some bad right quick. A bad to me is in this game, you had another big lead, 15-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, and you almost lost it. You almost lost it at the end. That's a bad. And also as a bad is Dallas, when they play athletic teams like Toronto Raptors, Orlando Magic, the New Orleans Pelicans, teams like that are really athletic, or little guards, athletic guards that are feisty, give the Mavericks problems. Okay, athletic teams to me give the Mavericks problems because defensive transition, Dallas is not good at it. When they get the rebound and take it down the floor, and it's a fast break situation, Dallas is not good at defensive transition, and they got killed on the boards in this particular game, as I can show you right here. Let's go to these numbers right quick. And you can see right here, rebounds. They're bottom of the barrel rebounding. That's going to be an issue going forward. That's a bad thing. That's an issue. That's probably going to be an issue all year unless they figure that out. 44-31, 18 offensive rebounds, and that's really what kept the Raptors in the game and really what brought them back, if we're being real. They had 25 second chance points. Points in the paint were even, and I told you that's a big sticking thing because that means the opposition is getting into the paint. And that's a problem for the Dallas Mavericks because they are not great on-ball defense as far as guys getting into the paint and help side where there's a threat to block a shot, because they don't have the shot blocker. Christian Wood's not doing it. JaVale McGee is not getting enough minutes to do it, and we know Dwight Powell's not a shot blocker. So these teams, whether it's guard play, forwards, getting to the hole, getting into the paint. So the good thing about this game, Dallas won the points in the paint differential. But the bad is, as I said before, offensive rebounds, 18-6, 25 second chance points to 10. That's a bad thing, but that might be a continuing trend all year because Dallas just doesn't have the inside presence, and that's why, once again, you see Christian Wood coming off the bench, because if you have him as a starter, who is your big man that's going to score inside? It's not going to be no JaVale McGee, and Maxi Kleber is not no threat like that. And besides those guys, who else is going to give it to you? That's why Christian Wood has to come off the bench. Nobody wants to see it, but that's what has to happen right now because you don't have any other presence. And as I said before, when you're playing athletic teams, I think Dallas struggles. And that's why I like when they press the issue of going to the hole against those athletic teams to really put that pressure on them to make them double team Luka, make them, even when Diddy's back, Dinwiddie's backing people in, causing the double, and then you can hit the outside shots. But as I said before, Mavericks are continually inside that three-point range, shooting 48% as a whole, 50% for this game, and that's a good thing. And like I said, Luka was hitting the right person when he was getting double teamed, because you saw a lot of the double teams happening in that second half where they were forcing him to get rid of the ball and make him make the right pass or make him write the right play. So, at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. That you see the points in the paint, you see the lead. Ugly for me, rebounding. That's an ugly. I'll push it right here. If I show you some of the numbers, some ugly numbers on that rebounding, and it's gonna continue to keep other teams in the game. Let's keep it real. One of the reasons why, like I said, the Raptors were in this game, they missed a shot. They were attacking the boards with tip-ins, getting right back on the board, second chance points. That's going to be an issue, man, all year, and that's an ugly thing for me. Look at the numbers right here. Free throw shooting, 24th. Offensive rebounding, 25th. Defense rebounding, 26th. Rebounds as a whole, 29th. Assist, 29th. This is all the bottom of the barrel. That's a ugly thing that's happening. And if it continues, that's what's keeping these teams in the game against the Mavericks. Let's keep it real. That's what keeping these teams in the game, is because they can out-rebound, they can press those boards, they can attack and get second chance points. So Dallas is not big on the inside. They don't got big rebounders. If you look at it as a whole, Luka is leading the team, I believe, in rebounds right now. And that's your point guard. And I think he's led rebound in at least 5 of the games. The only other person who's led in rebounds has been Christian Wood, and he's coming off the bench. He's not even getting 30 minutes a game, okay? Other than that, is Luka. I think Luka led in the rebounds in this game with 8 again. So you can't have your point guard being your leading rebounder as well. That is a ugly. Big men have got to just step. They got to crash the boards as a whole. And like I said, too many times they're getting the ball in the paint. The opposition of the guards are getting the ball in the paint and be able to create easy shots for themselves because there's no shot blocking presence. I would love for Dallas to have a real-life center that could get you a double-double. Like if you had like the Miles Turner that had been talking about, and then you still had the Christian Wood, that would be so much better because now you have an inside presence where they're throwing on the inside, and that forces people to double, and then you can kick it out, and then it will open up spacing on the outside. So right now, that presence has to be Luka penetrating into the hole, making the double team happen so he can kick it out to the Finney Smiths or the Reggie Bullocks or Tim Hardaway Jr.'s. That's really the offense. 4 guys standing outside the paint, Luka driving to the hole, either scoring a bucket on his own, they double and triple team, he's bringing that double team, kicking it out, you scored a bucket. So that's just kind of my quick thoughts on the good, the bad, the ugly. Like I said, Mavericks are on a 3-game winning streak. They play the Brooklyn Nets again Monday at home. That should be something good. Hopefully you can continue this win streak and make it 4 games. They're climbing back up in the seeding, back in the West. I think they're the AC currently right now in the Western Conference. But as I said before, love to continue to see those minutes from Josh Green. Continue to see how Christian Wood comes into the, in the effect of the game. And Luka's on a tear right now. He's playing MVP caliber basketball. You're 5-3, and you're in the MVP conversation when your team is winning and you got them on your shoulders. You're damn near averaging a triple-double right now. You're leading the league in scoring. Your team is 5-3. You're on a 3-game win streak. So he's going to be in the conversation. Luka is holding it down. He's doing his thing. Only thing I don't really like when he does them step back threes, when the game is getting crucial and he kind of just relies on it. Go to the hole, Luka. They can't guard you. You're going to force a double team, and you're smart enough to find the right guy. I hate when he just settles for that step back three on the left side when teams come back and they're down by 2 or they're only up by 2 or 3, and then Luka gets to doing that step back three to kind of be the hero of it. Don't have to do the hero ball, Luka, every time. Continue to take it to the hole, man. I know you like that three, and it's hey, we know what it is. But when he gets to the hole, when he forces the action and takes it to the paint, that just makes the team better, in my opinion, because it just opens it up for everybody else as well. So that's just my quick thoughts on the good, the bad, the ugly. Hopefully the Mavericks can get this next victory against the Nets. They should. They lost that lead in that game, but held on. But like I said, we'll see what happens. But I like the action I really like Josh Green. Really love what he's bringing to the table. Really love his role. Continue to get good minutes. We'll monitor this Christian Wood thing. Hopefully he can start closing out games with his defense. He can continue to step up. And Tim Hardaway Jr. shoot better. He's only shooting 30% from the field. He's just so Sam-timey. He's averaging 11 points, but it's an ugly 11 points. So that firepower is sometimey. So we can continue to get offense from Josh Green, somebody else besides relying on a Tim Hardaway Jr. to give you those points because he's so damn streaky. That's going to be huge for down the line with the Dallas Mavericks. So that's my thoughts on the good, the bad, the ugly. Check us out next week on Positively Relentless as we continue to talk about Mavs basketball, and keep your eye on it. We'll probably try to get some highlights going, try to get a watch party going down on maybe a big game, but continue to